Welcome back to our channel. If you're someone who's fascinated by rare coins and wondering how much your collection is really worth, you're in the right place. First up today, we're going to talk about a very specific coin, the 1949 wheat penny with an S mint mark, and the big question on everyone's mind, how much is it worth today, even in damaged condition? Now, you might be wondering, how can a coin that's seen some damage still be valuable? Well, the value of coins in less than perfect condition is still a big part of numismatics. The 1949 wheat penny with an S mint mark is a coin that has seen some fluctuations in the market, and even in a damaged state, it can still hold significant value. Let's dive into why this specific coin is interesting and why collectors care about it. First, let's talk about the 1949 wheat penny and its production. In 1949, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies at three locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While the coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver are relatively common, the ones made at the San Francisco Mint are much rarer. And that's the S Mint mark we're talking about today. In 1949, the total mintage of the S Mint mark wheat penny was around 28 million coins. This makes it less common than the coins without a mint mark or those from the Denver Mint, but it's not necessarily the rarest of the series. However, the real story lies in the condition of these coins and their potential value. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. This coin is damaged. We can clearly see that it has some noticeable wear and tear, which can include scratches, dents, or even environmental damage. But even though the coin isn't in perfect condition, it still holds some value. Here's where it gets interesting. A 1949 wheat penny with an S mint mark in average circulated condition. Think moderate wear but no major damage. Typically falls in the range of $20 to $50. But when the coin is in damaged condition, it will usually be valued lower. How much lower depends on the severity of the damage, but in general, a damaged coin could be worth anywhere from 50 cents to $1.50. Maybe a bit more, depending on the collector demand and market trends at the time. Even though the coin is damaged, collectors may still show interest due to its rarity. If a 1949 S mint wheat penny is in bad shape but still recognizable, it can still fetch a decent price in the right market. The rarity of the S mint mark plays a big role in its value. Collectors are often willing to pay more for a damaged coin than for a comparable example without the S mint mark. Collectors often find value in rare coins, even if they're not in perfect condition, because the potential for future value increase is always on the table. So, if you come across a 1949 wheat penny with an S mint mark, even if it's damaged, don't just toss it aside. It might still be worth holding on to or selling. Next up, the 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark. You've probably seen a lot of wheat pennies over the years, but this specific one could be worth more than you think. Well, especially if it's in very fine condition. Stick around, because we're going to break down its value in today's market and what makes this coin so special. 1955 was a key year for the Lincoln Cent series, and there are some important variations to look out for. But today, we're talking about the 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark. Let's go over what makes this coin stand out, especially when it's in very fine condition. First, let's talk about what a wheat penny is. It's one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a design of two wheat stalks on the reverse. The 1955 wheat penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it doesn't have a mint mark. Coins struck in Philadelphia didn't carry one during this period. That's right, about 330 million. 1955 wheat pennies were minted, and most of them came from the Philadelphia Mint. So, at first glance, you might think this coin isn't rare at all. But there's something important to consider. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. In very fine condition, this 1955 wheat penny shows moderate wear. The details of Lincoln's hair and coat are still quite sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are also visible. You'll see some wear on the high points of the coin, but the overall design is still clear and well-defined. This is a nice, collectible coin for any enthusiast. To put it in perspective, a coin in very fine condition will have more defined features than one in good condition. The letters and numbers will be more visible, and the coin will have retained more of its original detail. This is what collectors are looking for when they purchase these coins. So, what is a 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition worth today? In the current market, you can expect to pay between $2 to $4 for a coin in this condition, depending on factors like eye appeal, overall cleanliness, and demand. Now, this might not seem like a huge amount of money, but it's important to remember that the 1955 wheat penny is one of those coins that holds steady value. Even though millions were minted, coins in very fine condition can still command a decent price. And who knows, as time passes, this coin might increase in value. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are some key variations of the 1955 wheat penny that are much more valuable, like the famous 1955 double die obverse. But that's a whole different story. For now, we're focusing on the regular 1955, which, in very fine condition, is a great coin to add to any collection. Next up, if you've got a 1944 D Wheat Penny in your collection, you might be wondering, is it worth more than just 1 cent? In today's video, we'll dive into the value of the 1944 D Wheat Penny in fine condition and what it's worth in today's market. Stick around as we explore the details, the minting history, and the current value of this iconic coin. All right, let's get into it. The 1944 D Wheat Penny. This coin is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958, and it's one of the most commonly collected pennies. But don't let that fool you, because despite its mass production, it still holds some value, especially if it's in fine condition. First off, let's talk about the mint mark. The 1944 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why it carries the D mark just below the year. While the 1944 is not a rare year, in terms of mintage, a whopping 430 million were struck. The condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its value. In fine condition, the coin will show moderate wear. Lincoln's image on the obverse will be clearly visible, but not as sharp as a coin in higher grades. The details of his hair, facial features, and coat should still be intact. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are present but worn down, still visible, but not as defined as a higher grade coin. Now let's talk about value. In fine condition, a 1944 D Wheat Penny is typically worth between 10 to 25 cents in today's market, depending on its overall eye appeal and how much wear it has. Coins in this condition are in high demand among collectors who want a piece of history without breaking the bank. While the 1944 D Wheat Penny isn't a high-value coin like some rare varieties, it still holds decent value because of its historical significance. Plus, it's a key coin in any Lincoln Cent collection. Collectors love coins like the 1944 D because they offer a window into the past. Even though it was minted in large quantities, it's still a part of the World War II era, a pivotal time in American history. It's a reminder of how pennies were used during wartime and how coinage has evolved over the decades. Now, it's important to note that the 1944 D Wheat Penny isn't the only valuable coin from this year. The 1944 steel penny is a famous era coin worth thousands of dollars. But that's a rarity. For most collectors, a 1944 D in fine condition is a great starting point for building a collection of historical coins. Next up, the 1937 no Mintmark wheat cent, specifically in damaged condition. Is it still worth anything? Let's find out. Now, if you've come across a beat-up old penny from 1937 with no mint mark, you might be wondering, should I toss it or treasure it? Today, we're looking at its value in today's market 2025, even in damaged condition. The 1937 wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it doesn't have a mint mark under the date. Over 309 million of these were struck that year, so it's definitely not rare. But there's still some collector interest depending on condition. A damaged coin means anything from heavy corrosion, holes, deep scratches, to chemical staining or major discoloration. These types of issues drastically reduce the coin's collector value, but that doesn't mean it's worthless. Now, while this coin might not earn you much cash, it still has historical charm. Minted during the Great Depression era, these coins were part of everyday life for Americans struggling through tough times, and that makes it special in its own way. There are no major known errors for the 1937 no Mintmark penny, but any unique misstrike or die crack could bump the value, even on a damaged coin. Always double-check with a coin dealer if you see anything odd. Just for comparison, a 1937 wheat penny in uncirculated mint state condition can sell for $50 to $85 or more, depending on the grade. So condition really does matter. Next up today, we're talking about a 1944 S Wheat penny with a black color shade in good condition. If you've stumbled upon a penny like this, you might be wondering, what's its value in today's market? Well, stick around, because today we're breaking down what you can expect to get for this unique coin in 2025. All right, let's start with the basics. The 1944 S Wheat penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, and like all wheat pennies, it features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse. What makes today's coin interesting is that this particular penny has a black color shade, and it's in good condition. So, what's up with this black color shade? Well, this could be a result of environmental factors, such as exposure to chemicals or dirt, or it could be a coin that's been stored in certain conditions for a long time. While it's not an error coin, the black shade might make it stand out to some collectors. Now, let's talk about the mintage. In 1944, the U.S. Mint produced over 282 million of these pennies at the San Francisco Mint, which is marked with the S Mint mark. While that's a large number, the 1944 S still has some appeal to collectors because of its mintage and historical context, especially if it's in good condition. So, what does good condition mean? A coin in good condition will show significant wear, but important details like Lincoln's facial features and the wheat stalks on the reverse should still be visible. The coin will likely have some scratches or discoloration, but the core features will still be legible. In today's market, the 1944 S Wheat penny in good condition with that black color shade would generally be worth around 10 to 25 cents. It's not a high-value coin, but it's still a cool piece of history that has collector interest, especially for those looking to complete their wheat penny collection. Even though this coin isn't worth a fortune, the fact that it has this unique color shade makes it a little more interesting. Collectors sometimes value coins that have unique features like unusual toning or coloring because they make the coin stand out in a collection. If you find any wheat pennies with unusual colors or unique shades, definitely hold on to them. While they might not be worth a lot more than face value, some collectors are willing to pay extra for interesting visual features, especially if they're looking for something distinctive. Thanks for watching today's video. If you've got a 1944 S Wheat penny or any other interesting coins, let us know in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video where we explore the value of old coins. Keep searching for those hidden treasures, and I'll see you next time.